We are Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.
Hey, what's up? This is Cactus Wrestling. Mike,
Hey,
what do you want to say to the people, specifically one person in general?
Hey, we want to give a very big shout out to our buddy, Sean Garner. Got to meet him this weekend at the Big Ten tournament. Glad he was able to recognize us and say something. He said he would be looking for us, and he found us. We were there the whole weekend, and yeah, no, this is to you, Sean. We're very appreciative of you being a subscriber, a follower, commenter, and a fan overall. So,
And
yeah,
I'm happy that you're not just bandwagon Penn State fan like so many people. An
Ohio
Ohio
State,
State fan.
Ohio
Go
State,
Jesse
let's
Mendez, baby. Let's
go.
go.
I felt bad for Buzakis. I really thought he was gonna. I mean, Feldman did exactly how I thought he was gonna do. He made it to the finals, wrestled great.
So you
Um,
thought he was going to get that takedown in the first period of the finals?
did you? I didn't expect it to happen like that. I was kind of.
I turned to Jack and I was like, I hope Feldman gets the first takedown and forces Greg to actually wrestle. And then Feldman got the first takedown.
I think it's just a further, you know, showing of how important it is to be able to have a good down block go behind. I mean, there's so many, even at the youth level. I'm like, guys, it's the number one takedown. High school guys are telling the same thing. It's the number one takedown in college. Having baseline defense and being able to reattack and turn into your own offense. I mean, it's the simplest thing. And you see it working at the Big Ten finals against two guys that are probably going to be All Americans again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised. What a run Teskey had. And we'll get into it in a second. But man, I was not expecting that. I thought, man, Buzakis is going to do great. Mendez is going to do great. Feldman's going to do great. This Ohio State team, they're going to do some damage.
So
I
yeah,
mean,
let's dive into conference weekends. We'll start out with Big Tens since we were there. I'd say the environment was very much a Penn State at home field advantage feeling.
despite
Anytime
Maryland
that
being the home team.
anytime Penn State even scored an escape, it was like
Yeah.
just
Yeah, it
uproar.
was weird. Like they would all clap and like they could be up by like 6 or 8 points and then they'd score and they'd all clap like it's not even close. Like, why are you
And
clapping like
then
they just got the lead back or
the,
something?
the entire stadium was absolutely silent during the consolations because Penn State didn't wrestle during the consolations, really.
A lot of
So
Penn State people didn't even come to the
well,
consolation.
that's what I mean.
Two
There was
guys
nothing
that
to
were
cheer.
there.
There was no one to cheer because they all left.
Didn't you guys say they booed Bo Bartlett after he lost?
I think they were booing Jesse Mendez.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because he lost.
Because he beat Bo Bartlett.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and then they also didn't they boo when Nagel lost?
probably. I think, yeah.
In the championship rounds
Yeah,
to
like his well, he only lost the once, right?
Ferguson. Yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah. So 7 finalists for Penn State. That's a record. And that was without Carter Starachi in the wrestling. I mean, we could talk about that briefly. The whole Carter Starachi drama was, I think it was just all unnecessary. Like Kale handled it poorly. I think Carter handled it poorly.
I don't think Kale handled it poorly. I think Carter just handled it poorly. I think Kale was like, dude, like, yeah, you're not going to wrestle. Why would you,
Then
risk
why
getting
have him
hurt?
probably
think
should have
that
told
he
him
is?
before the day of.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
why make him think he's going to then just to pull it up from under him? Because we saw him walking around with a knee brace on.
So yeah, he was clearly thinking it's go time.
I think he got pulled at the last hour, obviously through his little tantrum, and he had allegedly a busload of people come down. I mean, we even heard it from people in the fans saying this whole situation was very weird. Like, what's going to change in a couple hours in Kale's minds to have him wrestle or not wrestle? Like, he should have known well ahead of time. That way, you don't have family coming down to travel for it. Just a bad look. And then the way Carter handled it, he even admitted in that interview that you sent earlier.
Yeah, he didn't handle it too great.
He was handling it emotionally. It was an emotional reaction, but he's ready to go. But here's my thing, and I asked Mike this. It's like you leave the event, you don't cheer on your teammates, and then you're just expected that, no repercussions. You're just gonna wrestle the next event. Like, I don't know what kind of team rules Kale has in place, but how are you just allowed to leave a team event because you don't get what you want? I don't know. It's a lose-lose for Kale, I guess.
Carter said that actually in the interview. He goes, "It's a lose-lose for Coach Kale," and I was like, "Dude, like if you're admitting that, that's half the problem."
Yeah. Because I was asking Mike, I was like, if you have a 3-time state champion and you pull him in the semifinals because he already all allocated and he tweaked his knee in the match before, and you're like, no, just we're gonna forfeit out. You already got your allocation. You'll wrestle. You'll rest up. You'll be ready for your 4th state championship next week. And then the kid leaves, goes home with his parents, doesn't watch his teammates for the rest of the weekend. What do you do to the kid if you're the coach? Obviously, it's different stakes, high school to college, when you're especially the #1 college in the country. But what do you do? Like, what message does it send? And I hate all these fans out there saying, Carter's such an inspiration. He handled the whole thing with such class. I'm like, are you serious?
I think he even knows that he didn't handle it with class.
Yeah, I think that, this was an interesting year with Carter because a lot of ways like, oh, look at him maturing in front of our eyes. And then sometimes we're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Especially when he says he likes to beat people up. He's like, I want to wrestle all
beat everyone up in the
32.
NCAA brackets. He wants a 33-man round robin.
I saw that. I thought that was
Where he
pretty
just
funny.
wants to beat up everybody.
Yeah.
Over 3 days.
And he's downplaying the merits of a 5-time championship. He's like, yeah, that's not really cool to me. Like, what?
Yeah, look here. I just want to beat you guys up.
Bunch of
Anyway,
Carter
well, we'll expect him to wrestle at NCAA's, but hey, shout out to Penn State. I mean, none of us were really seeing Brady Davis. I think we said it was destined to see Matt Ramos and Drake Ayala.
Well, honestly,
and they did wrestle for 3rd.
Thank D'Agostino for going for that terrible throw to his own back as in a takedown attempt. Like, I don't know what D'Agostino was thinking with that.
By the way, Michigan, those guys, specifically D'Agostino, Cam Amin, and Will Luan, I sent this guys to earlier. 11 of their matches went to overtime. 4 for each of them, except 3 for Will Luan.
Ridiculous.
It's kind of surprising that Will Luan is the one with the least amount of overtime matches.
It's only because he got that headlock.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So, Braden Davis, I mean, he squeaked by a couple matches that were close. Overtime win, I believe, with D'Agostino, and then Eric Barnett. That whole thing was controversial. I don't know what Barnett was going for. I think that match is close again if we see it. But
the way he was defending it, it was like, what are you going? Because it got called as an illegal move because, like, there's no move you were going for. What, you were going for the break of the arm? Like,
it was the repeat of the Kimura that Austin DeSanto tried when he was at Drexel.
Yes, yeah.
I saw a lot of people. Some people trying to defend it. One guy's like, he's clearly working for the move, and I don't even remember what he said. No, and then another guy's like, dude, it's a Kimura. Like it's super illegal. Like we all know that.
Yeah.
How about Braden Davis's interview? Did you guys get to peep that?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, it doesn't really matter.
They're like, what's it like to like lead off and feel like you have to get the fire started for your team? And he's like, yeah, like it doesn't matter.
I didn't really like how, like, some people will love this about him, but like he does the lift, takes down McKee, but then like he like puts his hand on his neck and like pushes him to get up. Like
that's like people are doing that all the time now. They're calling it like a hard cut.
No, the match was over. That he won, and he did that to celebrate.
He did that a few other times. He did that in
right.
against Berging.
Berging, yeah. I don't appreciate that.
I remember you said it then too, because I was like, I don't really care, but it is kind of douchey.
Yeah.
But Babyface Assassin, that's him.
Babyface Assassin. We'll see if he can follow it up at NCAA's.
He's assassinated.
I think I said this the other day, but he took pictures with my guys when they went down for the Penn State clinic. And I have a 7th grader and like a 4th grader that were the same height as him. And he's like this in the picture with them, hands on each side. And I was like, who is this person? They're like, oh, it's Braden Davis. And I was like, my God, I didn't realize he was so short.
Little guy.
You know who's very short, who we saw there? Gabe Arnold.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Gabe Arnold. Short. He's the same height as Drake Ayala.
No, he's what?
Yeah, he was basically Drake Ayala's height.
Oh my gosh, because I know Feldman's on the shorter side as well. I just never seen him in person.
Mm-hmm.
So how about Jesse Mendez knocking off Bo Bartlett? I mean, it was just a matter of time.
Yeah,
You wanna,
I thought that was what was going to happen.
do we want to talk 33 first?
Sorry, yeah. Dylan Chauver, he loses to Ragusan twice in the season.
Tournament of his life, dude.
And
He wrestled phenomenal.
Well,
Phenomenally wrestled.
yeah.
wasn't his closest match in the first round? I think it went to overtime.
I thought he wrestled Teskey to a close match.
Yeah, he went in overtime with Braxton Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him. He just got better as the day went on. And then he
Pesky
texted.
12-6, and then he teched Ragusan.
Yeah, dude, that was because I'm like, oh, Aaron Nagel, you're always like, oh, wonder how they do on the other side of the bracket. Yeah, he's not taking any better than third.
Yeah.
What, at Big Tens or NCAA?
Yeah, at Big Tens.
Oh,
I mean, after he lost to Rags, I was like, okay, well, maybe he'd beat Chauver. Not the case.
Right. Yeah, and he beat Van D twice, Nagao did.
Yeah.
But Chauver, man, putting Rutgers back on top.
Yeah, man. It'll
Yeah, I
be
mean, statement there with the tech fall in the finals.
when the
I think
seeding
he'll be
comes
a
out for
sleeper.
33. It'll be interesting.
He'll be a sleeper at 33, I think.
Oh yeah,
Definitely not someone you want to run into. Avenging 2 losses from Ragusan earlier in the year at that as well. So, yeah, shout out to Dylan Chauver giving Rutgers a title.
I honestly, I had no respect for Chauver at this tournament. I was not expecting him to do what he did.
And shout out to Brody Teskey too.
Yeah, he took that in stride, dude. I mean, he really could have gone one of two ways, and Buzakis doesn't even. I think he got
Buzakis went 1 and 2.
He got an at-large.
Yeah, but I mean, he did get an at-large, but still, like, not what you're expecting for if you're an Ohio State fan.
I mean, Mike was sitting next to me at the tournament, and just like as little respect as you could give to a person, he was given to Teskey every single match. And I was like, no, you can't count him out. And what happened?
He almost
2 or 3 matches. He came back from big to win the match. Still not impressed. He's still not impressed.
We'll see what he does next week.
Nothing.
Ouch. So 41, Jesse Mendez knocks off Bo Bartlett. Hey, Bo Bartlett did not take a single shot. And when Bo Bartlett shoots, he tends to score, but there's just some sort of mental block. He doesn't.
Yeah, Mendez was the one pressuring the entire match.
And even, hey, Sergio Lemley was had a very impressive tournament. His only losses were to Real Woods and to Bo Bartlett. And he wrestled very close matches in both of them.
Yeah, he actually gave Real a good scare in the what was it, 3rd place match.
I would have liked to see him beat Real again because I feel like a lot of people were saying, it was a fluke that he beat him the first time.
He had Real on his back.
Yeah, he's Sergio Lemley's tough, dude. Like, he's really tough, and he'll get you on your back and get in some tough positions. So are you still picking Mendez over Bartlett for nationals? Like, does this change what anybody feels?
I just think he's the better wrestler. Like, that's
what I mean. You guys, I think we're going to pick Mendez to begin with, right?
Yeah.
I think Bo Bartlett just steals a lot of matches. I mean, he's incredibly tough to score on, true, but his style is just not conducive to winning.
Big point, yeah.
Winning big time matches. So I would favor Mendez. He got after.
I can totally see it. I agree. I think Bartlett has like crazy athleticism that you never see in the match.
Yeah,
it doesn't translate.
That's what I mean. Like he has so many videos of him doing flips and tricking and whatnot. But then you see him wrestle, and you're like, wow, this is like watching paint dry. And he has the ability. I mean, he was a 4-time prep national champion, and he's only gotten better. You have to assume wrestling in college, but yeah, he, just like Jack said, he really does steal matches. And I think guys are starting to figure out like, hey, I could wrestle him a little differently. And, although he is tough to score on, and we saw that with the Brock Hardy match when they had the duel, guys like Jesse Mendez that are high paced and high volume shooters and continue to get after it are starting to find that chink in the armor. And I felt pretty good about Bo winning nationals, albeit not in a convincing way. But I think if Mendez can figure it out, why can't other guys figure it out? And Bone might not even be a finalist.
Yeah, could be.
Depends on who he gets matched up with.
Yeah.
Brackets come out later
I'm
today.
telling you, I'm excited for brackets to come out. It's going to be a big party about this.
So Ridge Lovett, Austin Gomez rematch. Any surprises? I mean, I guess Tyler
It's
Kasek
close.
too, third
Yeah.
place.
Well,
They were-
Rachi got hurt.
Mm.
Wrestled all the way through, but he limped off the mat after after his match with Kasek. Like
There's
he-
a few
and he
injuries.
wrestled very different than he did. Like I think he was just wrestling injured the entire match. I don't know if it was when the injury happened, if it was that match or a prior match, but he was definitely like limping off the mat. So I think that affected how he placed, like him placing fifth as opposed to possibly third where Kasek was.
I think Kasek had a great tournament. I've been pretty high on him. I think he can go with Lovett. I don't think he's at that level to beat him yet, but he's taken him down before, and that's impressive to me for a true freshman. I think Kasek is going to be an All-American, but he's probably the least confident I feel about a guy from Penn State because he is undersized, and there's some really tough 149s out there.
Yeah,
I will
the
say-
toughest tournament in the land.
49 for Big Tens though is relatively weak. I feel like
Yeah. It's top heavy for sure.
yeah.
Well, and that finals match was pretty exciting. I mean, they both tried
Yeah.
throws at points, so
They
like
both let it fly. Good to see
Yeah.
Gomez back at health, and
it's not often you see Austin Gomez get out thrown.
yeah, Lovett's a dog, man. He really is the heart and soul of Nebraska right now.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah, 57. I was going on a Willow. I was actually rooting for Willowan. He was going on a train. I thought that he might have some crazy upset potential just because he had locked and pinned Michael Blockus.
Well, Blockus also got injured.
Yeah, a lot of guys got banged
a
up.
lot of injuries,
There was a lot of injuries at Big Tens, and like some guys wrestled through it and some guys didn't.
Some guys, I mean, they're defaults. I mean, and I think that the reason you saw more guys wrestle through it is now they're actually counting it as a loss.
Yeah.
And we talked about this last year. We're like, they have to do something about all these like forfeits, and they did. And you're seeing guys be like, oh man, I got to win this match, and they're getting it done by any means necessary. So in one way, I'm happy for that. Another way, I don't want to see guys that are injured get worse, but like to see the matches.
Right. Levi looked good. Wilwan, we know how he wrestles.
Brayton Lee looked pretty good at times, and then
Oh, you were so high on Brayton Lee. You're like, yeah, he's so good, and then he loses the match. I'm like,
okay, well, he
Wasn't
lost to
someone-
Will Luan for one.
Didn't someone here predict Chase Saldate was going to win Big Tens?
I don't think
I feel like I thought I heard that.
that sounds like a Mike pick.
I
It does sound
definitely
like a
did
Mike
not
pick.
pick Saldate to win this.
I don't know.
I
I
would have
feel
picked
like
Joey Blaze to win it up more than Saldate.
that might have been it. But I think Levi's still going to win nationals. I really think that he's still that guy. We'll see when seeds come out how it all draws up, but I think that he's going to be that man. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. Hopefully Blockus's injury wasn't too severe. I mean, he ended
Yeah.
up wrapping his knee mid-match, and then he didn't wrestle after getting pinned by Luan. So
Speaking of guys getting injured, 165, Dean Hamady.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened during that match, but he also walked off limping his knee or something. The takedown he gave up to Messenbrink at the end of the second period, he just kind of gave up, which was
which was really weird. It was like on the buzzer too. Like he'd been defending him no problem before that. He was owning Messenbrink
on his feet. Yeah.
If that didn't happen, I don't know if he loses the match because that's a big 3 points.
Well, you see, yeah, but if he doesn't have those 3 points, Messenbrink probably cuts him instead of just holding that position and just staying there for the win. And if he is injured, he's probably just going to take him down again because he's not able to defend it anymore because he's hurt.
Which is unfortunate because that whole roll through where he got caught on his back was kind of unnecessary. He could have just given up the takedown and then wrestled stingy for the rest of the match. But I'll talk to the Penn State fan below me. How do you feel about that? Do you feel confident that Messenbrink beats him a second time through after watching that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think the first time you wrestle anyone is a little bit shocking. I think Mitchell Messenbrink kept getting into the shots and kept getting to his shots, but he was surprised. Like Hamidi's strong, and I don't think Mitch Messenbrink was expecting that because it wasn't like Hamidi was just shooting and Mitchell couldn't stop it. Mitch was doing a lot of the work and just giving up reattacks. But I think what was more shocking to me than anything is like I think it was the end of the second, and Mitch Messenbrink's like breathing really heavy, and I go, "Wow, dude, he's gassed." I said, "This is not good. Like that's his thing to be super, energized." And then he's just like takes a deep breath. He's like, "Okay, I'm good now." And then he was fine, and I'm like, "Okay, never mind. I guess crisis averted." But
I just needed one deep breath.
yeah, I think Mitchell, if he wrestles Hamidi again, is going to have a little bit of a different strategy. Um, I still think he beats him, especially now if Hamidi's not 100%, which seems to be the case. Um, but I'm not sure that Mitch can beat the other top two guys.
No way.
You say that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Not
not.
if not if the first time wrestling Hamity, that's what was happening. He was about to get majored. There's no way.
Hey, doesn't matter how you start the match; all that matters is how you finish.
That's true. I'm not
They don't
gonna
give
count him out, but
they don't give points for winning the first period.
fair point. Fair point.
I think that
Olenek majored Hamity.
That was 5 months ago.
yeah, lots changed. I mean, you have Fernandez beat who beat
Oh, Julian Ramirez.
yeah, Ramirez. Yeah, it was Fernandez different. Yeah, Ramirez beat Carr, and I don't think that happens again. But he wrestles with Keegan O'Toole a lot. They're very familiar with each other there, so I don't think there's gonna be any shocking. Oh my gosh, he's suddenly very strong. I mean, they were high school partners and high school teammates. They train at the same club in the off season. They train together in freestyle. They're great friends. I think the only thing that would be surprising if he matches up with Carr potentially, because David Carr is very strong. On top of being a great athlete, but I'm gonna say Mitch Messenbrink still goes on a run and is very high All American for nationals.
I can see it. So 74 was a little disappointing. Shane Griffith also got injured and injury defaulted in the finals. Shout out to Edmund Ruth, who gave the fans a nice little dance.
That was really funny.
He was like grooving to the music because he knew he wasn't going to wrestle. And hey, he's a Big Ten
Hey,
champion.
the
No one
most
can take that away
unexpected
from him.
Big Ten champion.
Yeah, can't take it away from him though. Rocco Welsh, great tournament for him.
Oh yeah.
Competitive third. I was surprised Kennedy slipped a little bit because he had a pretty good matches. Another high placer, Jackson Turley for Rutgers. Rutgers, silently building a pretty good program.
I think they took sixth
Uh,
overall
Yeah,
as a team. They did really well.
They did, yeah. They were a point and a half behind Ohio State.
Yeah, they were
Yeah, we were wondering if they were going to beat Ohio State.
They had a chance to. I think that at 174, if Carter's there, this goes completely different.
Oh yeah, obviously.
But
Well, Edmund Ruth's not even in the finals, so
yeah,
We'll see how well that knee can hold up.
yeah.
that's fair.
But good for Ruth, and hope Griffith is feeling better because that another guy that was hobbling around a lot. So hopefully he's able to recover in the time for nationals.
So 84, Isaiah Salazar, great
Not
tournament.
who I was expecting, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Truax made the finals, but couldn't beat Salazar. Salazar looked strong. He looked good.
Truex looks like his normal self.
Truax beat Lenny Pinto with who
Didn't see that coming.
honestly I did though, because Lenny Pinto wrestles a great 5 minutes and that's it.
Yeah.
Dude cannot finish a match to save his life. No motor on that truck.
Yeah, he was definitely better, but yeah.
You think last year he was better?
No, I'm saying he's better overall,
Oh
but
yeah.
because the gas tank,
He
he's
doesn't
worse.
he doesn't finish a match.
Do you feel like he's a guy that's cutting a lot because he's pretty large for 184? I feel like.
That could
He
be
is.
an issue. I think he's honestly lazy. I think
You think so?
he thinks he can just muscle guys over, and it works a lot of the times. But
It worked a lot of his freshman year, yeah.
anytime someone can kind of fend that off. I mean, against Jaden Bullock, like he's also another extremely strong, athletic guy. He was giving him fits, and then you could clearly see the fatigue on Pinto's face as the match goes along. So all you have to do is weather the storm against Lenny Pinto and then chip away. It's not like Bernie Truex is like freakishly strong. I mean, maybe he is, but
I
he
don't
is
think that's the
Looks like
case.
cast.
the most
I don't think that's the
unathletic
case.
guy at 184 in the country. Like,
Yeah,
he does not look like a big, strong guy. Like,
it's all that
Does this
leverage, though.
does this make you guys think that Bernie Truex could still be an All-American?
Yeah, he's great at taking fourth.
I don't know.
I
I had
mean, maybe.
doubts at points this season. I definitely had doubts. I'm like, oh well, I don't know if he'll All-American.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't.
Yeah,
Classic
I
hater.
mean, he probably will. But shout
Bullock
out
had a great
for
tournament,
making.
though.
Yeah, Bullock looked good. Um, at
Got to
80.
take a picture of Bullock with his high school coaches. They asked me to take it.
Oh, did
Good
you?
guy like that.
Yeah.
Nice. I
You
missed.
went to the bathroom.
Yeah, very good. Um, rounding out the last two weight classes. I mean, Aaron Brooks. He didn't have the flu, so he texted Zach Glazier. But hey, got to give props to Zach Glazier for making the Big Ten finals. This guy was on no one's radar. I
Yeah.
mean, he's having an incredible season.
I mean, the win over Jackson Smith was pretty impressive.
That's a big win. I mean, Smith's was like number 4 or 5, I think, ranked.
Yeah, and I thought since he beat Smith, he might be able to give Brooks another good match, especially since they wrestled before, but not the case. Not the case at all.
I think a healthy Brooks is
Yeah,
the
Aaron
best
Brooks is
guy in
like,
NCAA.
it was too close last time. Let's open things up a little bit.
A lot of people think Hidley's going to keep a close match with Brooks, and he might, but I just don't see any way for Hidley to win the way Aaron Brooks has been beating guys. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the Hodge this year, the way Carter's not going to get it now that he has 2 losses.
It's fair. It's fair.
I did see someone stirring the pot, saying like, if AJ Ferrari wrestled at Iowa, then Aaron Brooks wouldn't have won. And I'm like, dude, you have to be the most delusional person in the world to think that a guy that had a close match with Zach Glazier at the beginning of the season, before Glazier got even better, would somehow beat Brooks because he squats a lot or he deadlifts a ton.
To be fair, AJ Ferrari keeps he doesn't score a lot of points. He keeps a lot of matches close.
Like Bo
He's
Bartlett,
hard to score
he doesn't
on.
get scored on.
He doesn't
He's
get he's hard to score on.
I think Brooks will be able to take him down pretty efficiently.
I don't know those legs though.
Yeah. I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. In the comments, who would win between Aaron Brooks and AJ Ferrari?
No, I'm not saying he's gonna beat him, but you're saying he wouldn't be able to keep it close. I don't.
I think he majors AJ. I'm pretty positive he majors AJ.
I guess we'll never see it happen.
Well, there's a joke to be made in there somewhere, but I'll save it for later.
So rounding it out, Greg Kirk. I hate watching. I'm sorry. I hate watching this guy just lay on guys. All he does is get a takedown and just lay parallel. And even someone in the stands shouted it out. He's laying on him. And
well, yeah. I mean, what's the rule? Like, are you allowed to just ride parallel? Like in high school, my guys will get called for stalling if they're riding parallel too long.
I said this to you guys. I think that with riding time in college and them being like heavyweights, they're afraid to call stalling on them for whatever reason. It's just like ingrained in people. Like, the
only time they would call stalling is stalling bottom guy.
Yeah, bottom guy first,
and then after that they would call stalling top guy, and it was just like, why did the bottom guy get called stalling first, or why did you do that in order to call the top guy?
It's just simple logic. The bottom guy cannot move if you have a guy who weighs 30 pounds heavier than him laying on you flat. Like it should be on the top guy to actually get out to the side and try and turn someone. Obviously, the bottom guy is not going to. He's going to waste all of his energy trying to base up just to be flattened out.
Do you think now that you've seen Kirk be taken down, he'll lose to Younger?
Well, yeah, that's a good transition into Big 12s because Younger, my man,
Man,
we
oof.
were hoping for it. We were
It lived up to the hype. It lived up to the
predicting.
hype.
Yo, I don't. Did you saw that clip of the takedown that he got? Like his
I don't
legs
understand
in
it
the
still.
air, and then he gets in on a double and drives him to his back. Like what?
I still don't understand how it happened. I'm watching it and I'm like, oh yeah, like good takedown for Hendrickson. Oh, never mind. What happened there?
What? How are you even? Your leg is in the air.
Got to teach that one. I don't know, man. That's
Yeah, this is called the Bastida. Um,
he's
I
just
mean,
so athletic, man. I mean, he's
wait, he's only been taken down like once or twice this season, right?
I think two
yeah.
times. Yeah. And Kirk has not been taken down, but in
Now
fairness,
he has
Young.
though.
Yeah, he
Oh, that's
has.
true. Oh, that's true.
Belton.
But in fairness, Younger has beaten Alam, Schultz,
Well,
Wyatt.
yeah, you guys have seen the graphic, the Grim Reaper one,
Yeah.
where he's the Grim Reaper and he's got the guys you're just listing, Alam, Schultz, and Davison, and then he's got the door where he's knocking for Hendrickson and
Kirk.
Kirk. So
Kirk. You just got one more.
Hendrickson's slice his head off.
I mean,
There's
don't
only
count him
one that
out.
remains.
Don't
I
count him out.
I really was like, oh, it's Kirk's to lose this year, but I gotta say, man, if he wants to wrestle lazy, kind of like Jack was getting at before, where he's just like, I'll take a guy down and I'll ride, and I won't make an attempt to turn, or maybe he is making an attempt to turn, but he's not doing a great job at it. I don't think he's gonna be able to beat a guy like Younger, who just goes, and he's like neutral, neutral. I can get takedowns, I can get escapes, I can get reversals, I can get backs. He's just wrestling hard. I mean, he's beating tough guys.
And he's beating the big guys like Colt
But
Schultz, Wyatt
on the other,
Hendrickson. You beat those guys, they're huge.
I will say though, on the other hand, I know Hendrickson was not at his best when they wrestled in the All Star Classic, and he was hurt. He had his knee wrapped, wasn't even sure he's going to wrestle. Kirk brought it to him, and if that Kirk can wrestle the way he did in that match against Younger, that would be a whole different story. But
Nah, he saved that one
where's
time,
that
one
guy
night
been?
only,
That's
All
what I mean.
Star Classic.
Where has
That's
that guy been?
At the All Star Classic, that's where he lives.
Yeah.
He's only out for the All Star Classic. Anything else? We coast.
So we won't go through every finals matchup in the Big 12s, but some big matchups. I mean, we can dive into Carr versus Keegan O'Toole, round
I
4.
knew it was gonna happen.
I think Mike and I were both picking Carr, and
Yeah.
Keegan looked good.
I said Keegan O'Toole's going undefeated against Carr this season.
Hey.
So far, yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
The series is 2-2 now. I mean, there is going to be a rubber match in there.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Potentially.
Maybe.
Potentiable.
Yeah, Keegan, he's just looked so good. And he was
He's
saying
got
that
two,
he's wrestled sick, he's wrestled hurt earlier in the season. Now he's healthy. I mean,
Yeah, he was talking about the whole
that's
Mizzou
signs of
thing.
a guy winning his 3rd national title this year. So honestly, I was a little surprised at how not close it was, 8-2. But I mean, Keegan's just a magician. Like Carr got in on some tacks, and
he's so tough to score on.
yeah, his scramble ability is unmatched. So 65 in general is just going to be a pleasure to watch. But how about 157 between Chittum and Ryder Downey? Yeah, so we were talking about this one off camera. I mean, Cody Chittum, by all accounts, should have won the match if coaches
wrestled him 100%.
What were going on and chose neutral in overtime because he had just ridden him out 30 seconds in the tiebreaker. But even who was it, Dresser, kind of admitted he's like that one's on us. We were lost in the chaos of things. Brent Metcalf's talking, and they were kind of just lost in the moment. But man, wild match, long match too.
12 minutes, man. I mean, I think someone said it was 6 overtimes. I didn't count them. But when you're doing like those marathon matches in practice, just know that that's a possibility.
Yeah. That's what you train for.
Yeah. It was tough to watch Chittum, who I'd been like pulling for all year, lose, first on a caution and be like, I have to cut him now.
Yeah.
But get to Jack.
Well, then
And
he nearly got the takedown.
yeah, but Downey is a great scrambler, is able to get on the leg and hold on every time that he needed to.
I
He
think
did
Chittum's going
exactly
to
what
do
he needed
better
to.
next week than Downey does. So
I say that Chittum probably outplays him. I think Chittum could maybe beat him if they wrestle again, but
yeah,
Downey, I think, beat him earlier in the season as well.
yeah, that's a guy that steals matches.
He's a regular Bo Bartlett, am I right?
Yeah, regular Bobo.
Um,
No,
let's see who else. How about Dayton Fix getting his 5th title?
hey, the first and only ever.
Yeah, but not a convincing win, dude.
Oh, I know Evan Frost. Like, I mean, Evan Frost's not bad, but I didn't think Evan Frost
Good.
was like going to be that competitive with him.
Yeah, I thought Evan Frost is tough. He's had a good season, but I'm like, Dayton Fix is still great. It was 7-5 plus a riding time point 8-5. I'm like, dude, that is way too close for what I expected.
Yeah,
this
that
to
is a takedown away from losing.
I mean, he has 6 career losses, Fix, and he's been wrestling, I swear, for 7 years. What's crazy though is, who has another year of eligibility is Parker Keckeisen. He could be a 5-time champion as well.
Oh,
He just got his 4th, and his much more convincing a 14-5 major over
my
number
God.
2.
Oh, I know. Yeah, over number 2.
Honestly, I think if you're betting on number ones, this guy's the surefire pick. Like, he's head and shoulders above everyone this year.
Pretty confident.
Yeah. So lots of drama at the Big 12s. How about we switch gears to EIWA?
How about we do
I was
that?
wrong. No Binghamton guys made the finals. Unbelievable.
Yeah, not a great turn. I mean,
Oh,
Lou Dupre took. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say, shout out to Iowa State winning the Big 12 because that was huge for them.
Called it.
Yeah, I thought they could have. Yeah,
I thought they were going to blow it. Like, I thought they were going to give it away.
They wrestled the way they should have been wrestling all season. No other way to put it. Like, that's the team they should have been all year.
Yeah.
And even John Smith even said it. He goes, we didn't lose the tournament. They just won it. They're just we scored a lot of points. Oklahoma State scored over 140 points. I think they had what did they have? I don't even remember, but I remember it was over 140 points, and that should have been enough to win.
Right.
But it just shows that Iowa State, when they're on, should be a top team.
Definitely.
We'll see.
Last year we were thinking that they were a top 10 team at NCAAs. So
we'll see what happens at nationals again this year.
Yeah. But yeah, Lou took 3rd.
Yeah, not a good day for it.
Corey Day took 5th. Nolan took 6th.
Yeah.
Casella took 3rd.
Hey, I mean, they still got 4 going to the big show. Lou's only losses on the season are to Michael Beard and Jake Cardenas, who are top 5 guys. So his All-American chances are still very high. And that's big for a program like Binghamton. They haven't had an All-American. I think he's their last All-American. So if he can do it again.
It's Lou, yeah.
Yeah. But hey, how about let's just jump to it. Crookham versus Vito, round 2. And
I'm so happy.
Wow, there were some people in the comments that thought we were crazy.
Yeah, dude, a lot of
there's no way Vito's gonna lose.
Yeah,
he's been resting his mind, his body, and spirit. There is no way he will lose. He is the world champion, the reigning NCAA champion. He is far superior than fluky Crookham. And yet
he called him Frockham, and I was like, dude, come on. He's a freaking kid, dude. He's like super young. I mean, he's a decade younger almost than yeah, he's like, I was texting you guys this off screen. Crookham was 12 when Fix graduated high school as a 19-year-old, and now they wrestle together in the NCAAs.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But a lot of people are going to give Crookham a hard time. Like, he was stalling in his match. A win's a win, dude. And there's no
get 2 takedowns on Vito.
Yeah, he had more takedowns.
Stalling so much that I got 2 takedowns.
A win is a win. There's never going to be an asterisk. Vito looked hurt in the end as well, which is unfortunate. Because I think he's our country's best chance at 61 kilo, not 57, but 61. And if he's hurt, that's
useless for the Olympics.
No, so. I know, but I am doubling down that I think he's not going to be the 57 rep. I'm beating this like a dead horse at this point, but it didn't make any sense to me for Vito to go to wrestle this year in folk style. I've said it to you guys. I've said it to
I mean, especially now that he's lost twice to Crookham.
yeah. He has a month to get down to 57, beat an incredibly tough field, and then qualify the spot, and then win Worlds / actually the Olympics. I go, it's way too much. And then, to say, okay, well, he's really not even really doing folk style either because he's only has a dozen matches and 2 of them are losses.
To the same guy.
What's the point of him? Cornell's not winning a team title. They barely beat Lehigh in the EIWA.
Honestly, I didn't think they were even going to beat Lehigh. I thought Lehigh was going to take it to him.
I mean,
Lehigh. If Malik Hines hadn't lost.
There it is. Malik Hines, if he wins, Lehigh wins.
Yeah.
That's fair because Cornell got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cornell didn't even place.
No. I was surprised how close Michael Beard and Jacob Cardenas was. Not to jump around, I was just like,
so was I. Yeah,
that was shocking to me. That it was
I was kind of surprised that Lou went from beating Cardenas to losing to him, and then Cardenas having a close match when Beard destroyed Lou.
Yeah,
it's postseason, man. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
Lehigh will probably be the front runner next year when Ivy Leagues departs.
Not probably. They're definitely the front runner next year.
I don't know. I mean, Army's really, really good. I mean,
they are good, but they have, I think it's always tough when you're a military school, I think, to be able to compete with guys like at the Lehigh level.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially when you got 2 presumably number 1s with Stanek and Crookham.
Yep.
And then you got Nate Taylor, who's maybe a top 8 guy. Michael Beard, top 5 guy.
You have Malik Hines in that lineup, who's going to be, again, it's a better guy. And you also have on the bench.
McGonigal on the bench.
You're going to try to, I'm sure he's going to be on this team next year somewhere in the lineup. They're going to have growth somewhere. I mean, this is a program that is pretty much lightweight U at this point. They have the top guys at the lower weights.
And they got Nashon Garrett in that room training.
Yeah, and they actually have, a Connecticut local, Matty Lopes, going there next year. So add to the lineup. I don't see them going anywhere for a little bit. But
maybe next year Matty Lopes is going to be the guy that knocks off McGonigal.
Could be.
So we saved the best for last. ACC. Shout out to our boy Stetson in the comments. Loves the ACC content. So we'll wrap up this video with some ACC talk. It's not that we don't have love for the other conferences, but they're typically either lower ranked wrestlers or really small bracket. I mean, I know ACC is really small, but there's some really good quality guys in that bracket. Hey, how about Ryan Jack finally beating Cole Matthews?
I didn't think he had it in him.
I also didn't think he was going to do it, to be honest with you.
I was like, Ryan Jack must be very disappointed that Cole Matthews beat Lachlan because he knows he could beat Lachlan, but
he was 0-5 up to that point against Cole Matthews.
Cole Matthews almost lost it too. I mean, he was in overtime with Lachlan McNeil.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, like it's going to go south for RJ.
The problem with these NC State guys, I mean, not his brother, but a lot of these NC State guys tend to underperform. Like Ryan Jack's never All-Americans. Even Jacob Camacho's never All-Americans. And I know he beat Cooper Flynn, but 25 has been a twister this year. So,
I mean, none of the conferences disappointed at 25 with them being a twister. So,
what do you think about this idea for ACCs? What if they did true second?
Oh, they should do a true second if it's only 2 allocations.
With so many of those brackets, as small as they are, you have guys that are, 6-man bracket. You really don't think you can get a true second in that?
No, they should, especially if the guy that beat you is the champion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's say you lose a tight match in the semis to the eventual champion, and in the finals, that champion techs the other side of the bracket. You go, well, dude, if I was on that side, I would have gone, and now I'm not going to nationals.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
So I think that that would be something that will never happen, but should be something that is considered.
Well, hey, they're bolstering up to 7 with Stanford next year. So
Oh yeah, getting big.
Yeah, because like if Mackay loses in the semis, and I don't know how I don't remember how many allocations they had, but let's say 74 only had
that's a
two.
bad weight because they had, I think, 4.
All right, well, pretend they only had two, and Mackay loses in the semis, then that's a wasted allocation when, he not wasted because obviously there's a whole point, but to having these things, upsets happen. But like clearly that's a guy that has earned his spot just because the way that the bracket shook out and that one guy upset him. Yeah, like he should go. But yeah, to your point, I like that idea. But like you said, I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
How about the Hellers?
Yeah,
Both
the
of them
Hellers,
lost.
they should have stayed at Hofstra, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Both of them I thought were going to be in the finals, and neither of them did it.
That's okay. They'll turn it on in Kansas City.
Yeah.
You hope.
Do you
But
think?
TJ Stewart, dude.
Yeah, hey, he could go on a Mackay-esque run. I don't think he'll beat Parker Keckeisen, but like when
He's
Mackay won and beat Vincenzo Joseph, everyone was like, "What the heck just happened? Where did this guy come from?"
Well, that's true.
And TJ Stewart, I mean, Dylan Fishback's a tough guy. He's beaten him twice now. Um, granted, he has some losses, but he's got the talent. We've talked about it in another video. He's got the talent to do it. And we've just kind of talked about his mindset. If his mindset's right and he's wrestling the way he's been wrestling, hey, he could definitely go on a run. I could see it.
You guys disappointed in Andonian?
I'm surprised he wrestled. I didn't know how he was going to feel. So I think that anything he did was better than I predicted. So
Yeah, I was also surprised that he wrestled. He's traded matches with Ed Scott in the past, so
Yeah.
I think he got majored, but I don't know. Maybe he's not 100%. Maybe he is. Tough to tell, but he's not an easy match. I mean, even if he's
Yeah.
not 100%. So, do you guys think that Trent Hidley has a chance to beat Aaron Brooks?
I do not. I'll say it right now. I think Trent Hidley is the best wrestler to take second at Nationals this year. I think that he's incredible and he is going to do an amazing job and he's going to bulldoze his way to the finals the same way Aaron Brooks is. And he's going to lose a close match to Aaron Brooks and it's going to be devastating because he's a great friggin' wrestler. And it just sucks to have two Titans in the same weight. It's the same thing as like David Carr and Keegan O'Toole, except in my opinion, even more so because I think that Carr could lose in the quarters or the semis potentially, and I don't think there's anyone touching either of them at 197.
Yeah.
How about the big upset at 49?
What big?
Didn't Caleb Henson lose to Arrington?
Well, that was a very
in overtime.
That was a very controversial
That's
match.
a big upset.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Arrington's like number 4 or whatever, so 4 beating 2. I don't know.
I thought Henson was kind of, separating himself a bit.
Yeah, he beat him earlier in the year. I mean, it was a controversial call. They called a takedown for Arrington that apparently earlier in the match, Henson was in the exact same position and they didn't give him the takedown because he still had the leg, but
Well, it's
Arrington
because the
hooked the
NC
leg.
State guy wasn't getting the takedown. It was a Virginia Tech guy. So.
Yeah, Pat Pop's got those hometown refs on his side, I guess.
Penn State sent a few refs their way.
Yeah. So excited, super excited for NCAAs. Drop a comment down below. What did you think about conference weekend? Sorry for the delay in getting this out. It's been a busy couple days, but we're super excited to hear your guys' thoughts. And then be on the lookout for a lot of NCAA wrestling content before the big tournament. We're going to do bracket breakdowns, t-shirt giveaway. So make sure you stick around and check out the fantasy wrestling video where you could win a Cactus Wrestling t-shirt, free to play and potentially free to win. So drop a comment down below and be on the lookout. Thanks again, as always, for watching Cactus Wrestling.
Thanks for watching. We are Cactus Wrestling, and we'll see you next time on our next video.